Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I'm going to continue talking about marriage in this video. In the last video, we talked about arranged marriage, love marriage, the fact that all marriages are arranged according to the destiny that has been written. You know, in some marriages, there's a lot of storm and stress, a lot of arguing and fighting, a lot of antagonistic feelings between the husband and the wife. That type of marriage is what I would call a karmic marriage. Now, every marriage is karmic because there's karma in the marriage. I'll go into that in a minute. But some marriages are short-lived, and they're short-lived because there's a lot of karma that needs to get burned in a short time. And I have seen people get married and get divorced within 2-3 years because the karma was paid and there was no future in that marriage. It was a karmic marriage. Whether that karma was paid through abuse, whether that karma was paid through fighting, however that karma was paid, it was paid. But in the normal progress of a marriage, it's kind of like having a wonderful meal at a really good restaurant. You know, when you first get married, there's such tremendous excitement and discovery. Discovering a new person in more depth, discovering a life together, experiencing that. You know, that's why they call it honeymoon. But I call it the starters for the meal because, you know, sometimes you go to a restaurant and the starters are so delicious that you don't know even where to go next from there. It's like they were just bliss. So normally in a marriage, that the first period of the marriage, which is the getting to know you phase, let's experience each other in more depth. That phase is the starters. But then there's this big meal, and the mains are served and you got to digest it. And sometimes they're hard to digest. So that phase of going through the alignment of two to become one involves fighting and antagonism, and, you know, it may involve a lot of pushing and pulling and compromising. Now, when don't you get through that stage? And that stage may last 10 years, you know, there's no time limit. The stage may be short, it may be longer, and what does it depend on? Well, it depends on how well these two souls are acquainted with each other from previous incarnations. So if you're marrying a person who you've been with before in a previous life, that you've incarnated together, then a lot of the karma has been worked out. And that phase may be shorter. On the other hand, there may still be a whole lot of karma to still work out between the two souls. So that phase of facing up to the meal you ordered, and you know that moment when the food is served and you say, oh my God, my eyes are bigger than my stomach. I don't know how we're going to eat all this food. That's the part of the marriage where a lot of work is involved, and the success of that part of the marriage is contingent on communication. So let's talk about the ingredients that go into the karma that gets worked through in a marriage. Because anyone who's married has to go through this phase. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about the karma of marriage that's unique to marriage and how we work through it.